Well, let's connect you to the Minister for Public Health in Goa now. Vishwajit Rane is joining me via Skype. It's good to have you, sir, but it's not for anything like the right reason. 1 in every 2 people in Goa is testing positive for COVID-19, and the Chief Minister has now just announced the state will be under a curfew from Sunday, which includes closing all public activities. Will these, or do you think these restrictions go far enough, and why hasn't this come sooner?
Becky, I do agree with you, the statement which you made that this should have come much earlier. If you go through my tweets, I had suggested that we go in for a stringent lockdown about more than 15 days back. And anyway, 15 days back also was too late because we needed this lockdown for more than a month back. And sometimes administratively, economically, you need to take decisions which have a balance. And many times we, as administrators and as holding positions, sometimes makes some errors and in judgment. And I think this is one of those cases where we have made some error in judgment. And the cases have spread. And also the virus, Becky, that we find here in Goa today compared to the last time when we had the pandemic. Today we have got the double mutant, the Maharashtra double mutant. What our experts are saying is the strain that is there. It's like basically it's the UK strain, which is there in the state of Goa, where the infectivity rate is very high, and we are actually bearing the brunt of this UK strain.
What's the situation on the ground in the States? We have revealed the numbers, which are very, very frightening. I mean, do you have enough supplies of oxygen? Do you have ventilators? Do you have enough beds at this point?
Becky, Goa being a very small state, and fortunately, we have got very good health infrastructure. But saying that, let me, I would like to share with you that we do require much more number of oxygen beds. We have about 2,500 capacity of beds which we have made available, and all of them are full at the moment. And also we have about, in our premium institution, we have over 250 ventilators. We have ordered another 250 ventilators. We are at the moment just managing the situation in the state of Goa. We have also increasing step-up facilities before they come to the main institutions. We have got these number of beds, but as you mentioned, whether I have got sufficient oxygen, we are rationalizing the oxygen that is being made available to us in the state of Goa. Parallelly, we are also procuring these 4th generation oxygen generation plants, which are compact plants, which can, provide oxygen to the about 260.
But this is all going to take time, sir, isn't it? It's good to hear this, but this is all going to take time. Are people going to lose their lives in the thousands before you are better equipped to cope?
At the moment, we are just managing, Becky, but still I am not very happy with the situation in the state of Goa. I want to be very frank on your channel. It's a challenge in front of us. Nobody expected the pandemic to unfold in this particular manner. Infectivity rate is, as you mentioned, the positivity rate is over 51%. And these step-up facilities which we are doing, we are managing the situation at the moment. We are not denying a single person the treatment. And we have sufficient, luckily, we have Goa being the 4th largest hub for pharma manufacturing in the country. We are as an export hub for pharma. We have sufficient medical supplies. But like I'll tell you, at the moment as we speak, basic things, like the pulse oximeter and other things are in short supplies. But we are managing it by getting it from different parts of the country. But we are holding on for now. That's what I can say.
Right. I want our viewers to listen to this from the Principal Scientific Advisor for India's federal government. Have a listen.
A phase 3 is inevitable, given the high levels of circulating virus. But it's not clear on what time scale this phase 3 will occur. Hopefully, incrementally, but we should prepare for new waves.
Minister, in just the last few minutes, he has actually tried to row back those comments, saying it may not happen, a 3rd wave. All the same, you say your state's health system, is already overburdened. What would a 3rd wave mean for Goa at this point?
You know what, we are in anticipation, not because the expert scientific person has made a statement now, but definitely one has to be prepared for the third wave. And like I had already predicted in the month of January, I had said because Goa being a very preferred destination, Becky, we had thousands of people coming in. There were very less number of restrictions in place in that point of time. We had the whole of India coming into the state of Goa in the month of December, January, February, and I had already alerted our health authorities that we need to be prepared because we are going to face a situation at some point of time. And we did not...
Did
we
the
were
opening
always
up...
alert.
Sorry, did the opening up contribute to the surge in cases that we are now seeing? You're talking about the opening up of tourism. Did that directly contribute to this surge, do you believe?
Absolutely, Becky. Opening up of tourism without any restrictions in December has led to the situation in the state of Goa. And we are really, as you know the figures, Becky. You know all the figures. You in the morning, I was, we were just informally talking to somebody from your side, and the figures, the positivity rate of 51% and above is the highest in the country as we speak. And this has to be brought under control. The mortality has to be brought under control. Our front workers and doctors are working overtime, and at the peripheral areas, interior areas of the state of Goa. Luckily for us,
let me put this to you.
Facilities.
Right. Modi's party, the BJP, of which you are a member, sir, has been widely criticised for holding rallies and gatherings for religious festivals, which have turned into super spreader events. And you're acknowledging that the opening up of tourism in Goa was a terrible idea. Where is the accountability, sir? Who should be held accountable at this point? It's not good enough to say that the authorities were caught off guard.
No, Becky, I'm not saying authorities were caught off guard, but as far as Goa is concerned, we were keeping certain restrictions. No, we were not allowing any kind of rallies or any kind of things in the state of Goa. And as far as Goa is concerned, I was talking about tourism, because tourism, we had very little restrictions. But when you talk about accountability, we are not shying away from the accountability. Definitely, certain restrictions, certain amount of people, gatherings and all have to be restricted. I agree. I'm in total agreement with you. But these things, as far as Goa is concerned, we never allowed rallies or any kind of religious large gatherings to take place in this state of Goa.
Sir, I'm talking about the wider story here with respect, but thank you for making it clear what is going on in Goa. But I am talking about the wider story of India. It is a democracy, and yet this COVID catastrophe has laid bare once again what critics say is that there is no accountability for wrongdoing or failure in Indian politics. Do you agree?
No, there is no question of shying away from accountability, because the people hold you accountable. Being a democracy, if you do not, take care of the people and do not fight the pandemic in a very aggressive and very proper manner, the people are going to, they don't need for anybody else to hold us accountable. It's the public that is going to hold us accountable. And in Goa, we are going for elections in the next couple of 8-9 months. It's the public that is watching what the government is doing. And whatever we say, ultimately what we do on the ground and what we do for the people is only going to reflect in what type of governance we are giving here to the people of the state of Goa. And the people are going to hold us accountable. We are accountable. We have to be held accountable. And I'm sure we will live up to the expectations of the people of the state of Goa. Our Dean of the Goa Medical College, our Directorate of Health Services, our whole young team of doctors, the experienced doctors are working day and night, 24/7, trying to serve the people. But when you say there are certain policies, certain things that have to be adhered to, yes, it happens sometimes in a democratic process. Sometimes things happen in the way you want it to happen. I do agree today, worldwide, India is, figures have gone way up. But I can share with you my opinion with respect to my little state of Goa.
Well, you are a BJP member, so I am going to put this to you again. Prime Minister Modi, under growing pressure, for example, to impose a national lockdown, does that need to happen now? And I am asking you to talk outside of your state of Goa. You're a BJP member. Should Prime Minister Narendra Modi be held accountable for this COVID catastrophe in India?
Becky, the Honorable Prime Minister has never, ever told any state that they should not put restrictions or take any steps. We have been having video conferencing with the Honorable Prime Minister The Prime Minister has all the time told every state chief minister that do what you must in order to see that you keep COVID-19 under control. You must take steps and restrictions. You're free to do whatever your state needs. And never, ever has he said that you should not do anything that is required to keep COVID-19 under control. And as far as India as a country, as a democratic country, it is concerned, every state has a liberty to take whatever steps they require under the Constitution of India. And no government, chief minister, democratically elected chief minister has been told that he cannot undertake a lockdown or he cannot undertake any kind of restrictions. He has been told
would a national lockdown have been sensible?
Becky, national lockdown and a state going in for measures is the same thing. Every state is independent. It's a federal structure here in our country. Every state can go. Delhi per se can do what it has to do. Goa can do what it has to do. Maharashtra is doing what it has to do. Rajasthan is doing what it has to do. So every state, there's no restriction. The Prime Minister has never told any chief minister that you cannot do A or B. It's up to the leader of that particular state, person at the helm of affairs of that state, Becky, who can take whatever steps required.
Okay. With that, we'll leave it there. We wish you the best and the people of Goa the best, of course. It is a beautiful state. And come back and speak to us again. We hope that we will see a peak in this second wave, and we hope there won't be a third wave. But hope is not enough these days in what is this pandemic. Thank you, sir.